Welcome to Beyond the Chutes is presented by Parasite Systems. We are your hosts today, Doug Simcox, and my co-host sitting right across the table from me in the BTC bus, two-time North America Rodeo Commission saddle bronc rider, Mr. Sam Swearingen is with us today. How are you, Sam?
I'm doing great, Doug.
Did you sleep good last night?
Slept wonderful.
We stayed in the, where were we? Manchester, Tennessee at the Walmart parking lot.
Somewhere at Walmart.
We slept good, though. Wasn't too noisy.
No, it was really good.
Yeah. Had a great dinner last night at the Three Amigos. Had good food and good night's sleep. And up and at 'em this morning. And we're sitting at the table trying to figure out what the day's going to look like. Certainly, we know we've got Cliff and Julie and Chism going to be on with us on the call. And we're sitting there, and we're like, okay, we want to move towards up towards McEwen, Tennessee, because we're going to go visit Jerry Bellis this afternoon, Sam. And you're looking at it saying, well, we best get going if we're going to go. And what did I say in that moment?
Oh, we make the grand entry.
We just got to make the grand entry, I said. That's all we got to do. So did you hear me honk the horn and lights flashing and stuff when we pulled into the pilot saying, we're here, we're ready to go? Did you hear me?
No.
I was making a racket up there, hooping and hollering, saying, we're here, we're here. So BTC is officially on the road again. Yesterday, we're in Alabama, had a great day, and we are recording, as I said, in the BTC bus. And Sam, you and I have had a very busy week, lots of driving, and like us, today we've got a rodeo family that's on the call with us here, and they're traveling up and down the road. They are pounding the miles, hauling horses, and the big thing with trailers, Sam, you got to have braking distances.
Well, you got to really pay attention. You got your horses in the back. You have to take it easy around curves. And if you get tired, pull over.
Exactly.
Pull over.
And speaking of brakes, trailer brakes, make sure you got them adjusted. Should give you just a little bit of a bite, right, when you start to roll on?
Yeah.
You got stories on trailer brakes?
No, I didn't use them the way you should, but
Okay.
yeah. So I don't want to talk about it if I didn't do it right. So
yeah.
I'll leave it up to you.
Well, make sure we get those set up. Make sure they're working. You're hauling a lot of weight down the highway and defensive driving. Expect the crazy moves from those around. Yesterday, I pulled over for an exit and three cars, let people merge on, and three cars behind me shot around me on the right-hand side. So don't assume anything. And as you said, Sam, lots of patience. And we appreciate all of our folks that listen to us as you travel up and down the rodeo roads, long runs, overnight, all kinds of weather and traffic. Be safe, eyes up, and we hope that this episode will help the miles pass just a little bit easier. And today we've got three very special guests on the call with us today. We saw this young lady. She competed at the International Finals Rodeo in January. Sam, when you and I went out there, so please welcome to the call Julie, Cliff, and Chism Goodrich, all from Humboldt, Tennessee. Welcome this morning, guys. Welcome to BTC.
Thank you.
Good to have you with us. Where are you guys sitting right now?
Well, I'm in the horse trailer. We just take care of our horses and watering them and taking care of them, but we're in Alpharetta, Georgia.
Okay.
At a rodeo. We competed here last night.
Okay. And another round today?
Tonight we go Jasper and then back to Alpharetta tonight and the Slack.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so do that again. You're in Alpharetta right now. You're going where this afternoon?
Jasper. Georgia.
How far is that for you guys?
About an hour.
Okay, not bad. Not bad.
And the rodeo fair starts at 8. So we are leaving Chism here. He's going to compete during tonight here at this rodeo, and then catch a ride to Jasper. And then after Cliff and I compete at 8, then we are going to catch back up with Chism and go to another rodeo tomorrow night. I let Chism and Cliff do a lot of the entering. So where are we at tomorrow night, Chism?
Morrisville, Tennessee.
Cornersville, Tennessee. So that's serious. They tell me where I'm going
Yeah,
on Monday.
yeah,
Sometimes you don't get entered right, calf roping and barrel race, so we have to kind of split up a little bit.
yeah, yeah. And so how many horses are you hauling right now today? How many got on the rig with you?
We have 3 horses. We have a calf roping horse, my barrel horse, and we brought a 3-year-old with us just to expose her to the rodeo. She's fretting quite a bit right now, but Cliff got up early this morning and rode her, let her see the sights, and so we've got 3 horses with us right now.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so calf roping horse goes where tonight? Does he stay?
So the calf roping horse, I go to Alpharetta first and then Jasper after. And I catch a ride with some other calf ropers at Jasper, and my parents are flip flop, so they go to Jasper first and then Alpharetta second.
So what's your dad? He's in the calf roping, tie down roping, right tonight?
No, sir, he
No.
didn't enter.
Oh, he didn't.
Yes, sir.
Oh, so you get to keep the
It's
horse.
Now, he looks at the calves and decides on how big the calves are, and he makes choices that direction. Now
Oh,
he
wow.
tries real hard to get me and Chism to the rodeo. He's been our backbone.
Okay, excellent. And did you rope last night, Cliff?
I did not.
You
I
did
did not. I didn't enter anything this weekend. I've got a young horse that I'm riding. I left him at home because we are going to have a pretty hectic schedule. So we brought a 3-year-old colt, and Chism and Julie just entered Chism rope last night. He was 8-7 and broke the barrier to win first at
Oh,
Alpharetta
wow.
last night.
Oh wow.
And Julie won third last night at
Oh, wow.
Alpharetta.
Oh,
So,
congratulations.
we had an all right night last night.
Yeah,
And if you don't break a few barriers, you're not trying.
man.
You're not trying. That's right.
And
It's frustrating when you do it,
you
but
bet.
here,
You bet. But
That's
Nate,
part of it.
but
Yeah.
Nate and 7 is fast.
Yeah, he made a good run.
Good.
8-7 was a good run.
Good. And Chisholm, step us through that run last night, if you would, please.
Yes, sir. I had a rerun in the slack, and the calf was supposed to go a little bit more than the rest, and I took a pretty good start. Took the start that I wanted to, but it was just too much. She didn't leave as much, and run her out there about 2 swings, and kind of stood her up and had to pull her around, and then I just flanked her and put a wrap and a hooey on her.
Now, you had a rerun, so why? What happened?
So there was 19 guys entered last night, and they only brought 10 calves. So I got to watch my calf go in the performance. So I kind of knew what she was going to do, but she didn't leave as hard in the slack as she did in the performance, which kind of gave me a miscommunication. Kind of wish I would have seen more, but that's part of it.
Yeah. Okay, because I was thinking the calf was crippled or something when you said rerun. I'm going to my rough stock stuff as a re-ride.
Yeah,
So, all right.
Yeah.
Well, good. It's always nice to see him go, but didn't help you in this case because you still broke out.
Yeah. And Chisholm, what horse are you roping on these days?
Yes, sir. I have a buckskin horse that we call Perky. She's 16, and Dad used to ride her at the circuit rodeos and the IPRAs, and then now she's kind of my main horse now.
Okay. And what's her breeding?
She is Wonder Oto, which is a lot of our horses are Wonder Oto from Florida.
Okay. And she did well. She's doing well.
Yes, sir. She
Okay.
did. She did everything she needed to do. She scored good. I just took too much start.
Okay. Now, when she scores, for our listeners, what does it mean she scores good?
It means like when I back in the corner that she leaves when I want her to leave, not when she wants to leave.
Okay. So she scores good and got you in position. Two swings. Sounds like you went to work.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
And I want to say, Chisholm, that was probably the best, simplest way to explain scoring there is.
Yeah.
A lot of people get in the detail. Well, they pull the barrier, and you have to sit there and wait. And she goes when I tell her to go.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And did the calf just hesitate just a touch, and that's what messed you up on the barrier?
Yes, sir. Just a touch. She hesitated just a touch, and it wasn't. It was like an older style chute, and so the gate didn't open as fast as like a preferred. I know I'm getting like very technical, but And so I just took too much start. She kind of hesitated through the gates, and then she ran on.
Okay, okay. So, how do you know when to go? I know you nod your head. At which point, how do you know when to go?
Well, last night the barrier was really short. It was 6 foot under, so it was kind of like with the gates.
Okay.
And when the gates open, you could go. And I kind of nodded and went before the gates opened just a tick, and I broke it by about 3 inches.
Oh my. Okay.
And you don't know when to go. You have a plan in your mind, because if you knew when
Yeah.
to go, it'd be easy. You wouldn't have
Right.
broke the barrier.
Right.
But you got a plan.
Yeah, yeah.
Every time you back in there, you know how much you're going to see. Are you
Yeah,
going to see
yeah.
a ear? You're going to see a shoulder.
Yeah.
You know what is it? And,
Yeah. And with a short barrier like that, that's got to adjust that. What did you want to see? What would have been perfect for you, Chism?
Looking back, it would have been just as soon as the calf flickered. But I tried to go at the same time, and that was too much.
I see. Okay, excellent. And then you're roping again tonight. Horse feels good. Everything's where it needs to be.
Yes, sir. Horse feels good. I'm just ready to run another one.
Okay, good. And you're feeling good? You rested up?
Yes, sir.
All
Didn't
right.
have last night, so feel good now.
Okay, good, excellent. And are you doing anything physical right now, lifting weights or anything like that to stay in shape or get ready for the big rodeo run this summer?
Yes, sir. I try to go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week and work out, and then also rope 3 or 4 days a week.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
And what's that mean, rope 3-4 times? I know it's at the house, so it's practice. What are you talking? 3-4 times a week? How many head? What are you thinking?
3 or 4 times a week. I'll probably run 40 or 50 a day, and then flank and tie, probably 20 or 30 times.
That's being dedicated. Great
Wow.
job, young man.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes.
Now,
We have 4 different horses. Like on a normal practice day, I'll get on 3 or 4 different horses. I have a really good practice horse that lets me run 20 or 25 on him every day. And then we got a colt, and I got another kind of like my B horse that I take to ropings and stuff. I can run 5 or 10 on her, and then just try to tune up my good horse and make sure we're in the same mindset for the weekend.
okay, and a couple things. God bless your parents, because I know what it takes to
A lot of
to do
cows.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, nobody really realizes it unless you're doing it at the expense and what you're doing for these kids. But what do you do mentally? I'm big on, you know, working and getting to where you're at, but the mental game comes in. I think that's what separates the winners from the great ones. And
Yeah.
do you do
Yeah.
anything like that?
I just try to like visualize my run, and I try to visualize the start. 'Cause if you don't get the start, then you're beat before you ever get going. Especially like when I get to the rodeo and I know my calf, if I know she steps right or she steps left, and what the start is, I try to visualize that. Mom is actually really big on visualizing stuff. She can talk better about that.
Okay.
Well, she's married to Cliff. She's got to be.
Yeah.
So Julie, let's roll here. And this is a very interesting aspect of the rodeo game, of course, the mindset. And Chism, thanks for bringing up a visualization. You know, I think that was first introduced, and Julie, you can speak to this, Gary LeFew, what is it, psycho-cybernetics and visualizing. So talk a little bit about that, Julie, how you approach it and how you teach it.
Well, in my mind, I visualize the run when I get to a rodeo. When we got here last night, you know, it was important for me to go up, look at the alley, look to see where the barrel stakes are, visualize, do I need to go up the pen, or is that first barrel set to the right? Can my horse see that right barrel? You know, so I always go up the pen, walk it right there at the chute, you know, where the gates open, and I visualize my run. I kind of walk myself right through it. And then from the third barrel home, I got to know where that timer is so that I make sure I get across the timer coming home wide open, you know. And so I do think it's important to visualize your run, to see yourself going through there, see what your horse is going to see. A lot of times I'll walk in the stands and be behind the first barrel, look across to the second to see what my horse might or might not see, but just look at the distance, you know. and I visualize that run, and I try to make the same run, try to get her to do the same pattern every time, and she is, she hunts the first barrel, so that helps me. A lot of horses, I do think you kind of have to guide them a little bit, but I can pretty much, put my hand on the saddle horn and send her, and she'll, she puts her ears up and she looks for the first barrel. So I'm kind of lucky with this horse that I have right now that she does that and I don't have to help her.
Absolutely, and this is excellent, by the way, what you're doing. When you so you visualize it all the way through. I mean, it's all the way through, back through the entry gate, the whole bit. You finished a complete successful run in your
Sure.
mind. Okay,
That's
and
exactly.
go ahead.
Well, it's just important, to know when you go up there, how you got to get there,
Hmm.
because every arena is different. So, sometimes they let you stand back there, the contractor does, and sometimes he doesn't. So, it's important to know how soon you got to be ready. And, sometimes I think barrel racers get beat there. They get nervous. I know when I first started, you have nerves. And so, it's just better to go up there, see where your horse is going to be, and allow yourself mentally to prepare for that. So that you see where you're going to be and where you're going to be running.
You bet. And how do you, when you roll into the center alley or wherever it is, whether you're warming up, whatever, how do you quiet your mind? You got business going on, you got personal things going on, you got bills that got to be paid, all that sort of thing. But how do you quiet your mind? It's time to go run. How do you quiet your mind, and how do you get your focus?
Oh, that's a good question there, because I never run unless I say, God, just ride in front of me, behind me, and right with me,
Hmm.
and bring your peace over me, and put your Holy Spirit on me so that I feel your power and your strength. And he never fails me. I can be nervous about this or that, or getting to a rodeo on time. But when it's time to run, I find that peace that my Savior. He's the only one that can give that peace to me and allow me to do what we do and have fun doing it and enjoy it. And you got to make it fun, And so that's always been my prayer, is just let us have fun, let us win if it's your will, help us to enjoy it together, and just be ready when it's our turn, and know, be confident.
Wow.
Excellent,
Excellent.
excellent. You can
Thank you.
tell you do that every time
Yeah.
because
Yes,
it's a program
Yeah.
in your mind,
Yeah.
it
and
is. It's a drill that I love, and no matter what happens, I feel that peace, and
it,
so it just takes me to the next one. And no matter what happens, if you win or you lose, you're right back at it, wanting to get to the next rodeo and try it again and do it again, and prepare during the week to get to the next rodeo. That's mental too, but
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah, it's a lot of preparation, but you got to enjoy it too.
and you gotta let it not become mundane because you do it all the time.
Yeah.
You
That's
you
true. That's
have to step back sometimes and say, look,
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
did this for a reason, and I got to keep it up.
Yeah.
that's
So
right.
And you, Sam, are a big one proponent of practicing perfect. So I got a question for Chism. We're going to come right back to you, Julie, and this has been excellent. So Chism, you're running, you're drilling at the house, right? Whether you dismount and tie or not, you're drilling at the house. Are you putting that same visualization in on every single run that you're making? Are you able to get yourself quiet enough to back in that box so it's all pure focus so that muscle memory can take over?
Yes, sir. At home, we try to pick out, like, if we're going to 3 or 4 rodeos. They're usually rodeos that Dad has been to before, definitely. And we'll kind of know what the start is and maybe what the calves will be, and try to make that same run, whether it's shoulder around the end of the gate and you got to be 9-5 to win something, or if it's you can go when he goes and 8 flat might win last hole.
Hmm. Hmm.
Try to prepare that away so that all week you practice for what you're competing against, and just try to make every run your best run and not get into the slump of just running cabs to get better.
Yep. Yep. Perfect. Perfect. Um, Coming back to you, Julie, we saw you on your mare at the IFR, 10-year-old bay horse. Are you running her this summer?
I am. I started her. Well, we've had that mare since she was about 5 months old,
Hmm.
and Cliff broke her, and then she got hurt when she was coming 4, and we didn't get back on her till she was 7.
Oh
So,
wow! Oh
yeah,
wow!
we had we bred her, and we've got a colt out of her, a 5-year-old colt that we have been hauling this summer, and last fall actually. So anyway, but she's fixing to be, well, she is 11 now this year, but
Hmm.
so she probably didn't see her first rodeo till after she was 7 years old.
Oh, is that
And the
right?
first year was hard. Yeah, she's kind of high strung, and she saw a lot, but yep, that's the one I've got with me. But she's adjusted to the rodeo world, and she's gotten more consistent every year since probably she was about 8 or 9. So it's going good for her now.
Okay, excellent. What's her name?
We call her Baby. She's
Baby.
a tail dash to heaven mare, and yeah, we love her.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
Well, so dash to heaven, so it means it's probably a dash to fame and a heavenly firewater cross.
yes. I back to her papers. Uh, she is a wonder. She comes. I had her mama, and I sold her to a friend. When you said McEwen, Tennessee, I sold this mare's mother to a girl in McEwen, Tennessee, and she had 2 embryo babies. So I was allowed to buy one of them, and so that's
Wow.
why I said I got this filly when she was 5 months old. The lady called me and asked me, did I want to buy one of these out of my old mare, and she still had the mare, the 2 embryo babies. One of them was a Frenchman's Guy, and the other one was a jail dash to heaven. And I said, yeah. So when they weaned her, we went and got her, and so we've had her ever since. But nice to know you were right there at McEwen, because that's kind of town right there where this mare came from.
Okay, excellent. And one follow up question to getting ready. Peace comes over you, as you said. You do your prayer. Um, what's the effect on your horse?
Well, yeah, now she's more consistent,
Hmm.
so I kind of know how she's going to react. That's one reason I walk up there and I look to see what might or might not scare her, spook her, you know. But she knows when it's time to run.
Hmm.
When I'm waiting for my turn, I usually put my hand on her neck or turn around and put it on her butt and just rub her. But when I gather my reins, it's she knows.
Hmm.
Knows. And I think every horse is a little has got some of that. I've had horses like when I reach down and I put a rubber band on my foot to make sure my
Hmm.
foot stays in my stirrup.
Hmm.
That's when I've had other horses get nervous or know it's time. But this mare, she knows when I pick the reins up, it's time to go, and so
Okay.
she heads toward the gate.
Okay. Okay. And the settling in yourself. Do you notice a settling in her, or quietness, or anything like that?
I do. I think if my heart's beating fast,
Hmm.
I think she can feel it.
Right.
I can feel her heart. So
Okay.
I know, that she knows if I'm tense. I think that's an important mental part of it, is to stay focused and to not let your nerves get it. When you're first starting out, everybody has nerves and adrenaline. But I can remember one time at the IFR, when it was in the city, I broke my hand, and I had worked all summer to get to the finals. And the first night, I either hit my hand on the swells or the horn, and it was huge. And the sports medicine people, they gave me a shot to help numb it. But you know, the I wanted. There was just no way I was gonna turn out.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I was gonna have to run one-handed, so be it.
Yeah.
But uh, I can just remember, staying focused and remembering why I was there. I had worked all year to get there, and yeah, I could turn the 3 barrels left-handed if I had to. But I turned my fears into adrenaline and couldn't wait for my turn.
Okay.
I wanted my turn, if that makes sense.
You bet.
Uh, I just, the competitiveness that you learn to have, and you root for others. If you can't win, I want my friends to win. I want to see them succeed. So I turn anything negative into adrenaline and just positive energy. And, I focus just on the good stuff.
Oh, wow. That's excellent.
And thank you for that. Turning the negative into a positive. That's very good into the mindset again.
Oh, my goodness.
But I want to go a little bit to Cliff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, being a contractor and working my own chute at the time event end, I would notice, and you could pick out the people who were horsemen and who were there doing it because they had the athletic ability or whatever.
Sure.
And especially the steer wrestling.
Yeah.
When they back in the box and you see them just about ready to nod, and everything tightens up, and then the horse goes up, and it just when you see a horseman back in there, they are relaxed and they calm the horse itself.
Yeah.
It makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
So, and I know you break and you're a fantastic horseman. Tell me what you think about that a little bit.
Well, we love fooling with these horses, and we have all our life. Me and Julie have trained a lot of horses and fool with them, and I enjoy it probably even more now than I did when I was at the top of my game competing, because it's something I can do now that I enjoy doing, and watching the horses progress into the next level.
And I know you enjoy it because I came out to your barn there about 7 or 8 in the morning one day. You've been riding horses. And, It was,
I'm a contractor by trade, general contractor, and I get to the barn at 5:30 in the morning, and I generally saddle 1, sometimes 2 every morning. And I might ride them before I go to work at 6:30, and then I'll come in that evening when we get done working, and Julie and Chism will be out of school then, and they'll get to the barn about 3:30, 4 o'clock, and we'll start riding horses and roping, and we do that every day that we're home, if we're not at the rodeo, basically. That's what we love.
General contractor. So what is it you mostly do?
I'm a house builder by trade. We're general contractors. We build houses, commercial buildings, a lot of different things like that in the city of Jackson there. I've been doing that 35 years.
Okay. And you went to UT Martin, correct?
Yes, sir. I went to UT Martin, graduated there in 1982.
Now, who was your coach at that time? Or were you on the rodeo team, I guess?
I was there on rodeo scholarship all 4 years, and Doc Robinson was the coach then, and he was one of the greatest mentors and friends of everybody in the rodeo team. He was a professor there that taught animal science, and everybody loved him, and he was just a great coach. Tony Coleman was one of our coaches back then, and he was great. Ernie Roberts. We've had a lot of great coaches, and they've got Chase Thresher there. John Luthi has been there. Martin's had a very great program.
Yeah, Martin is really good. And, it was funny. I was at, I don't know what it was, but I'm sitting in the stands at one of the rodeos at Cowtown, and Dalen's riding. I think it was the Christmas one for.
Oh, yeah.
And
WCRA.
I heard the lady talking about UT Martin in front of me.
Oh.
And it was Doc's daughter.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
So it just floored me when So we were talking a little bit about it. So very good. I was just you work in steer wrestling event, and you're not a great man. A big man anymore.
Big man. Yeah.
You're still great.
Yeah.
Great in our eyes. You're not a great big steer wrestler like they see today, and you've done very well. Explain that a little bit.
Well, I'm not real big. I'm about 6 foot 5'11". I used to weigh about 185. Now I weigh about 175. But I've been in the gym all my life, and I've trained, and I've used that as a positive, and I teach that to my kids. Physical fitness is such a great thing, and we see it when we're kids. It's not as important, but I tell these kids if they'll start getting in routine of lifting and training when they're in their 20s, then when they get in their 40s, they'll know how to do it and they can keep on going. I've been blessed. I'm 64 years old, and I still go to the gym, and I still ride 3-4 head of horses a day, and I'm still in good shape. I love it because of that.
You bet.
Beautiful.
And injuries over the year, Cliff?
I've had a couple injuries. I tore my ACL out of my knee in '99, and I came back, quit bulldogging in '99 because I came back with a brace, and my brace didn't feel good, and I just said, I asked the Lord, I said, if you'll just let me continue to rope, I'll give up the bulldogging, and I quit bulldogging in '99 to 2000 and just focused on my roping, and came back after that and was successful at later in life, like 43, 44 years old. I was still able to compete at a top level, which was, if I hadn't been in bulldogging, I probably would not have been able to, because I probably would have got hurt again.
Okay.
So I just gave up the bulldogging. But I love the bulldogging. I bulldogged IFR many years, and it's a great sport. I love it.
You bet. And I see that in I think it was 1999. That'd be January '99. So IFR 29. You actually won the steer wrestling average out there.
I did. I think I won the average maybe twice out there in the bulldogging, and won the roping a couple of 2 or 3 times, and all around a couple of 2 or 3 times out there. So we had great fun at the IFRs back in the '90s when they were in Oklahoma City. Well, we started when they were in Tulsa, and then they moved them to Oklahoma City, the Marriott, and then they moved them to the fairgrounds. And me and Julie competed there in the mid '90s, and then in the early 2000s we went back to the pro rodeos and started competing at the PRCA rodeos again. I started out there, and when I got out of college in '83, I won the PRCA circuit in '83 when I was a kid. So then I told Julie, I said, well, 20 years later, I'd like to win it in 2023 again when I'm 40 some years old.
Yeah.
So we started back going to pro rodeos in the early 2000s and quit going to IRAs, and I was able to win the circuit twice more in 2023 and 2024.
Okay.
And me and Julie went to Pocatello to the Dodge National Circuit Finals together, and just really were able to compete. And then we got back to the IRAs again. As Chism come along, we needed rodeos closer to the house. We started going back to the IRAs, and Julie's made the IFR a couple more times here in the 2020 something, and Chism's hopefully to make them this year.
You bet. And one of the things you talk about physical condition, we've talked mindset. You actually are involved with kids, and you have a roping school that goes on at the house. Can you tell us a little bit about that program?
I do. We have a roping school every Tuesday night. Starts at 5:30, goes to 8 o'clock from first Tuesday night in April till October. And we started this is our 33rd year, 33 years we've been roping every Tuesday night. And I started because I saw kids wanted to rope, and I knew we needed to pack them together on one night so they can feed off each other's enthusiasm and sportsmanship and things that they can learn watching the other kids rope. So we started roping on Tuesday nights, and the kids would come, we would break away, tie down, whatever level the kids wanted, whatever level they were there. We have kids that never swung a rope before, the kids that have roped very good, made the IFR and NFR and things like that. We have them all come through our schools in 33 years.
Oh, my goodness.
And that was one of the questions Doug said what he wanted to ask, and I said I'm pretty sure he does a lot with the kids, but I was going to ask you if you thought that they would feed off each other, because I'm a firm believer in that if kids will push kids to a level that we don't think they can go to. And if you get 3 or 4 of them kids that are good, you have a gymnastics background, I got a wrestling background, and all the time, not 90% of the time, if there's a kid that's really good, the kids the weight up and the weight down are going to be okay,
Yeah.
or good.
Yeah.
You know, they might not be to the level that other boy is,
Yeah.
but he brings everybody in and makes them better around them.
Yeah.
So
You bet.
you answered my question. You believe in that also.
Yeah.
Definitely, yes. It's a fact that we're only as good as the people we surround ourselves with. That's whether being in life, in business, in anything we do, we're only as good as the people we surround ourselves with. So it's so important to have the right circle of friends in competition as well as in life. And I see these kids that when they're around kids that are better than them and they see that kid excelling, well, all of a sudden that lights a fire under them to want to work harder and try to raise the bar. It's been proven many times, and I see it in my kids. And then we'll have flanking tie matches and things like that. We'll put a cap on the end of the post, and we'll get stopwatch out, and we'll flank and tie, and we'll let those kids kind of try to compete with these other kids and see where they need to be. And it's just competition with people better than you is the key to getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, I love that. And in this a bit of structure where you're also talking with them about mindset or visualization, like Julie had talked.
Definitely. I tell people, you know, what I see is important with these kids is when your kid starts out, let's say he's 7, 8 years old and he's wanting a breakaway rope, you know. So you've got to put him in the right situation where he can win, where he can catch his calf, where he can get encouragement and enthusiasm and go to the next level. So you have to set the stage right for those kids to be able to catch, and that means roping slow calves, having the setup right so they can feel good about catching their calf and their horse getting close enough to even throw the rope, you know. So yes, that's very important, you know, in the mindset deal. Once they begin to catch and begin to see what they have to do, well, then they can process that in their mind and start getting better. And like Chism said, I've taught all my life in my schools to mental preparation. Our mind is like a computer. We have to watch that run in our mind and see it happening. So if we've got a calf that we think steps to the right, doesn't run very hard, then we'll kind of make that run in our mind. Calf comes out, he steps to the right. I can see it in my mind. 1, 2 swings around his neck. He turns around, I flank him time. So I'm visualizing that run in my mind before it ever happens. So when it begins to happen in the competition, you already know what's coming up. Mm-hmm. And that's very important for people to understand that. Mental deal. Once we get to where we can rope, mental is about 70% of this game.
Oh, it is. Even in tie-down calf roping.
Even in tie-down, top-level tie-down,
yeah.
It's mental is very important.
Yeah.
Top level, the mental comes in. You know, at the lower levels, it's not so important. Mm-hmm. It's ability.
Right.
But when you get to that point where everybody's so good, you need to make your mind right to get the difference. And
there's so many guys that can rope good now in the calf roping world that it's who can do it when it counts and at those particular rodeos, because there's lots of kids that are very athletic. This calf roping has progressed so far in the last 25 years, and the breakaway has really progressed in the last 10 years. Unbelievable, just because of that. And then it's just who can do it when it counts.
Yeah. And has the competition awareness. You know.
That's right.
I told Doug the other day, I said we mortgaged the farm so the boys could go to the high school finals and all that. And it wasn't for anything. I knew they had the ability. It was to get around those people to when you step up to that stage, to the big stage, you're not overwhelmed. Yeah. I was overwhelmed when I finally went onto the big stage. Yeah. You know, and you try to prepare them not to be overwhelmed. Yeah. And it made a difference. I'm a firm believer it made a huge difference in them. And
it does.
So when you go to the big stage, and I'll let anybody want to answer this, any one of the three of you, you've worked all year to get to the international finals rodeo, let's say. You're back in the box. It's round number 1, or heck, it might be round number 4. The one that, you know, may determine an average win, may determine a national championship. We hear the cowboys and cowgirls say, oh, it's just another run. Is that really true?
Well, I'd say it would be another run, but it's a very important run, so we have to use our mental preparation to make that run.
Yeah. And you're
But we
just
try to make it think it's just another run in
yeah,
our mind.
yeah. But there's pressure, right? And Julie talked about that. When the nerves come in, how can we turn it into adrenaline, which is, to me, energy and forward motion and that sort of thing?
That's correct. Julie answered that exactly right when she talked about the Lord gives us peace and calming effect on us once we prepare at home and are ready. Then when we get to the event, we're supposed to know what to do, and we turn it over to the good Lord to ride with us and let it happen.
Oh, this is perfect.
You know, when I took the boys to the high school finals, they were getting out there and they got all these pens around that you can practice in, And I said to my wife, I said, if you're not prepared when you get here, you don't need to go to a practice pen. You might need to do something for your horse or something that I don't know about.
Yeah.
But to go to a practice pen, to pay $300 for these kids to get in a practice pen, if you're not ready when you get there, you should have stayed home.
Yeah.
Because it's all about preparation.
Yeah.
And when you said about the kids, you try to make the stock fit them right so that they can have fun and move on and learn from it. That's what I always said. You can't learn anything getting up off the ground. These contractors
That's right.
and stuff take rank stuff to the high school rodeos. How do you make kids better?
Yep.
And I'm a firm believer, and you can't learn anything getting up off the ground every time first jump. But at the same token, as these kids got better and moved to level, and they were going to go to the high school finals or whatever, I would start bringing some stuff towards the end of the year, because you don't want to hurt the kids that are good and moving to that direction. So it's a fine line. That livestock is probably the most difficult thing for teaching that you can find.
Yeah. You got to give them those teaching moments, right? You got to give them the ability, as Cliff said, to be successful and build that confidence. Julie, back to you. You're still teaching?
Well, Chism graduates in just a couple of weeks. We homeschool. I have a degree in education, and that's how Cliff and I met. At rodeos, but I was teaching when he and I met. And then, so after Chism came along, I started homeschooling him so we could continue to go to the rodeos. And
Oh, wow.
best for us to be able to homeschool him, be at the barn, and do other things as well. And so, no, not right now. And my career is fixing to be over in a couple of weeks, so I can't get that. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I'll have to wait for graduate weeks. He's 17, and this year he's wanting to go to a lot of the IRA rodeos and this summer. So we hope that we're busy with that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I let them kind of plan and see, make the best schedule so you can get to as rodeos as possible.
Yeah.
And so we'll see where the good Lord puts me after this season.
You bet. And last year you did about 45 rodeos, I see. What as big this year, or what are you thinking? I know you're hauling Chism, and Chism probably wants to go hard. What's your plans for the rest of this summer?
Well, sometimes it's hard for all of us to get entered, and like I said, we split up sometimes. So after the WCRA, I may let my horse rest a few weeks and kind of regroup. And if there's a good run for Cliff to take Chism where they can go and hit a lot of rodeos like in 1 week or maybe the next weekend as well. I'd like for Chism to have that opportunity. I've been to a lot of these rodeos, and Cliff has, and he knows the good ones to take him to, and a lot of planning to try to make the finals is to know where to go, which rodeos to go to, and there's nothing wrong with saying sometimes you need to go away from the best competition. It depends on what your goals are, but come August, Chism will start college. So, he's got all summer to hit or not hit. So we'll see what happens. And then hopefully in August, he'll get started in college, and we'll see. We'll be able to go to some rodeos and do some different things,
Excellent. And Chism, where are you going to go to school?
I'm going to go to Union University. It's about 5 miles from the house,
Oh, wow.
and it's a Christian school. We kind of made that decision as a family that I can get more out of living at home and having a covered building and horses and calves, and I can progress my roping career more than going off to college somewhere.
You bet.
And what are you taking up in school?
I'm going to take business management right now. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards, but I'm not dead set on anything.
Okay. And so you got general electives and everything to get through first. A couple of years of that. That ought to point you into some different opportunities, I should think.
Yes, sir.
Okay, excellent. And Julie, you brought up just a moment ago. You mentioned the WCRA, it's a World Champion Rodeo Alliance, and I saw that you placed in North Carolina last year. Talk a little bit about it. Any of you talk a little bit about the effects of the WCRA and their partnership with the International Professional Rodeo Association.
Well, personally, I really like it. I think it's been great for the IFR, being able to count those points at the IFR, just some incentive, be able to nominate certain rodeos that you think you might do well at. Uh, it's been important to us to experience new things and the growth of rodeo and just new competition, new places. So it's been really a challenge to get some of these and to get to North Carolina. And then Corpus is coming up. So we're really looking forward to that. It's just a new experience, and they've allowed so much money to be won. And, just the opportunities that the WCRA has allowed, for different competitions, not just barrel race, every competition. So it's something we really look forward to.
All right, excellent, excellent, and we have been following WCRA. I think it's tremendous. They had Tulsa, was it Tulsa? Yeah, Tulsa, right? Guthrie, right before the IFR this year. So big money, as you said, all around, and good luck with it, guys. And when's Corporate Christie coming up? WCRA.
We get home Saturday night late or early Sunday morning this weekend. We have church on Sunday that we'll be at, and then we leave for Corpus on Tuesday morning. Chism competes on Wednesday night, and I run barrels on Thursday and Friday.
And that was going to be my question: is Chism going to compete at those? So that's wonderful. They I think those events are so good, and so many people are getting a good start through them.
Exactly, for sure. Yes.
And there's your great competition.
Oh man,
You
bet.
You're
You bet.
not only you're riding for good money, but the competition's going to help push you to where you want to be.
And the big show.
Yeah,
you bet. And then Chism, a lot going on this summer, graduating and everything. Last opportunity to get the IFYR International Finals Youth Rodeo. That a possibility?
Yes, sir. That's definitely on the radar. Just seeing what rodeos are also out in Oklahoma that are IRAs that week, and seeing what's best. My main goal is to make the IFR, so whatever looks best for that, and if we can fit in the IFYR, we definitely will.
Okay, excellent, excellent. And for these youngsters that want to get involved in roping and come to your school and come to your year-long program from April to October, how can they get a hold of you guys?
They could contact me at I've got a Facebook page, and I'll be glad to send them information. We rope every Tuesday night, and love to have any new people there to join us.
All right, perfect. So Cliff Goodrich on Facebook, find him.
That's right.
And he will get you the information. Hey, Chism, I'm going to put you on the spot. We're going to do something fun right now, or at least I think it's fun.
Okay.
We got a little something new that we're putting together, and I don't know why, but I'm drawn to you doing this.
Are you ready, Chism?
Are you ready? Are you ready? These are what's called hot shot questions. Okay, we like to use these rodeo terms. Hot shots, right?
Yes,
Oh, that's not a rodeo term.
That's not a rodeo term. Don't we use hot shots in a rodeo? No, not anymore.
No, that's a thing of the past.
That's a thing of the past. Sorry, I'll have to edit that out.
Yeah.
Maybe we got to come up with a new name for our segment. What would you come up with then?
You put me on the spot.
I did. I did.
Nod your head questions.
Nod your head questions. Okay. All right.
Go
We'll have to come up with something. Chisholm, you got any ideas? Let us know. So, come vacation time, mountains or the beach, Chisholm?
the beach.
Okay. What belt buckle are you wearing today?
I'm wearing my junior NFR buckle.
Your junior NFR buckle. How many? Is that the one always?
It's the one like I wear to the rodeos that I've got on my good belt, but I have the first buckle I won. I wear it every day. It was just at a little youth rodeo, but it's important because it was the first one I won.
First one you won. I love that. That's a frequent question. Or a frequent answer, I should say. All right. If you started a podcast, what would be the name of your show?
Good question.
Oh, is that the name of it? Good question. I kind of like that. And who would be your first guest?
I think it'd have to be mom and dad.
Okay. Excellent.
Oh, I was wondering how you're going to separate them because I said he's going to either say his mother or father.
Yeah.
I was wondering, but you didn't. You did good. Good boy.
Good boy. And you know what? As far as number of people on a podcast, it's the first time, Sam, you and I have ever had 5 total on this podcast.
Oh,
Do you
yeah,
realize that?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
We've never done that. So new records are being set. That's part of rodeo. We're already always setting new records.
Now, going back to the answer you just gave,
Yeah.
mom and dad.
Yeah.
You know, you heard the old football term, right?
Ah.
Dad's out there in the snow, handing the ball off to the kid. And,
Yeah.
you know, working with him in the mud and the slop and taking him all these places, you know. And all of a sudden the kid breaks out and he's on national TV and he's running. He ran for a touchdown. The TV camera goes to him. It was, "Hi, Mom."
Mom gets some credit too. Absolutely. All right. Here's another one for you, Chisholm. You ready?
Yes, sir.
If you could spend a day with one rodeo athlete, living or not, who would it be?
Right now, maybe Riley Webb.
Riley Webb.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Excellent. And why?
Just because he's the hottest guy right now, and I feel like I could learn a lot in one day.
Okay. Excellent. Final question. There's a movie about your life. Who's going to play you, Chisholm?
Oh.
Tom Cruise.
I don't know that.
It is
John Wayne.
John Wayne. There you go.
He's not alive.
That's a hard one. People don't know a lot of
That's a hard
actors.
one.
Always.
Yeah, that's what I told Doug. I said, if you asked me that question, I said, I wouldn't know, but maybe the only actor I know is Tom Hanks or something like that. You know? So that's difficult for us rodeo people that live it every day.
Okay. Yeah, that's for sure. So you guys are out there pounding the highway. We talk about all the safety and everything at the beginning. You want to add anything to that? Final thoughts before we say goodbye?
Well, safety's important. We keep our truck and trailer maintained and the brakes and everything because it is dangerous hauling horses up and down in the traffic like we do every day, every weekend.
Absolutely. Good. Julie, anything?
Safety is important. Chisholm, he started driving when he was 16 and actually maybe 15, late 15. But the importance of safety, is so important because your tires, other drivers, road rage. There's just a lot of things that goes into safety when you're pulling, horses and our lives and the people's lives that you pass in. So, yes, you've got to have that checklist and make sure your truck is in the best condition and the tires and the brakes and your trailer is ready to go, and there's always going to be problems, but, we can get them all fixed, but we do have to do the maintenance.
Got to do it.
And that goes back to being prepared.
It's part of
Sure,
the
yeah.
game, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Being prepared.
You bet. This
That's
rodeo, and Chism, as you think about your business management course, just know that rodeo is nothing but business. Where you guys, where you're headed, and everything that these guys are talking about. Chism, any final words of advice for our young listeners out there today?
Oh, that's good. Practice doesn't make it perfect. It's perfect practice that makes it perfect.
I love that.
Very good. So I just got one thing to say, Chisholm. Now, known your mom and dad for quite a while, maybe longer than I want to admit.
Yep.
But but now, this podcast stuff. When Doug asked me to do it, I'm not much of a talker, but he's talked me into it. I'm getting better, at least at talking. But now later on, you've got a lot of things going in your favor when you're a world champion. Don't forget about us. Come back on and talk to us.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. When
I'm
you're
gonna
on
hold you to that.
when you're on the big stage, BTC. I don't know. Just remember us.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. To our listeners, we hope that you enjoyed this podcast of our this episode of our podcast with Julie and Cliff and Chism Goodrich. Family traveling up and down the road, pounding the miles and getting it done out there. If you do, please share it with your friends. Word of mouth is always the best advertising. We got great stories just like this one. Please share it out there, and let's have some fun, educate our listeners. To make your listening easier, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. You can find us out there on all the major streaming platforms. Just Google Beyond the Chutes and follow us, like us, rate us, give us comments, let us hear from you. Tell us who you want to hear from next. And if you like reels, we got reels. Check out our Beyond the Chutes Facebook page and click and follow and check out all those reels. I think you'll enjoy them. And we'd like to say thank you to our sponsor, Parasite System, for their support with our podcast. They help the wheels of the BTC bus go round and round as we head down the highway. And Parasite System is a push-button parasitic diagnostic system for pasture animals, your horses, your cattle, your goats, your sheep, and your chickens. And now for your companion animals, their new all-in-one test device, medical device that your veterinary clinic should be having on their shelf in their laboratories, and they can test your dogs and your cats. We say keep your horses in top condition as you are headed down the road. The miles you are driving, they are riding. You can find them at parasitesystems.com. And if you'd like to get some mail-in kits, use our coupon BTC023 for 50% off those kits. We say let's test, don't just treat. Let's test and know exactly what we are facing. And we'd like to say a big thank you to the IRA Project Facebook group for all their help and their guidance in this podcast. This is Beyond the Chutes with
Julie Goodrich
and
Cliff Goodrich
and
Chism Goodrich.
and
Sam Swearingen.
this is Doug Simcox. Thank you for listening.